work considered. You want yours considered, and I'm especially thrilled that you would take seriously what these guys have all done. But I want to talk about Jimmy Merle for a second because he's not here. He's like a patient that can't speak for himself. So let me talk for him for a second. One, I knew it was going to be hard. And we are blessed with world-class cinematographers, just the same way we are with composers. I rival the composers that are existing today in any century. I don't care. John Debney, you stand up against anybody. But the landscape is a feast. Our country is a feast. Europe has what they have, these buildings. We have our land. That's what we have. And it goes on and on. And so for Jimmy, what a wonderful opportunity as a cinematographer. But I said, Jimmy, we're going like hell. We're going, we gotta work fast, and we're gonna work off our script. That's what we're gonna do. And when most EPs would not want to work, wait, I'm not doing this, I don't have the light. I don't have the thing, I don't have this, I don't have that. I said, Jimmy, we have the story. And he looked at me and he said, let's go. I will go as fast as you want. It made me try harder sometimes to schedule something so that he could have it. But he never whined once. He just did his job. I shot Dances with Wolves in 106 days. This is arguably bigger, 52.
Oh my God.
He never stopped. And that should be its own category, somebody that goes, I'm going to serve the story and not my ego. Jimmy Merle.
Well, the amazing thing is that if you hadn't told us that, I wouldn't have necessarily guessed that he was operating under any limitations. Because I mean, his work in movies, gorgeous. You know, we actually at the outlet I write for IndieWire, we chose his cinematography as the best of 2024 so far, and we also had John Debney's score on our list of best scores so far. And John, I have to say, when I first saw this movie, the thing that made me just sit back and relax in my chair and think, okay, I'm in good hands, was your music coming up at the beginning, because I could tell that it was made by people who had a feeling for what the classic Western is. And you're kind of standing on the shoulders of giants here in terms of working in the traditions of people like Elmer Bernstein and Ennio Morricone and things like that. And I'm curious, for you, what were some of the composers or Western scores that you were looking to for inspiration for this?
Well, thank you for those kind words. I'm getting over something, so if I'm a little hoarse, you'll know. But it's such a great privilege to be here with these amazing artists, and Kevin, our hero captain, call him captain. Kevin and I, when we first spoke, I think we both realized that we both loved Westerns from being a little kid watching Westerns with our dad. And I used to ride horses in Griffith Park with my dad, So I think I was always sort of a cowboy, and I know Kevin was probably always a cowboy, even as a kid. So we bonded over how the West was won. If some of you might remember that. Most of you are too young, actually, to remember. But it's a great Western, and we both love the music of Alfred Newman. So to answer your question, Alfred Newman, Dmitri Tiomkin. There's so many, Alex North. There's so many great composers that I grew up with sort of as a kid, and I would wear out those records. You remember records? And I would Kevin and I connected on a really visceral level about music in Westerns. And he then proceeded to give me the greatest gift in my career, which was to write music for a Western of this quality and this timeless aspect. So I'm forever grateful to him. But yeah, I think I was always a cowboy, and I think Kevin was probably too. So that's how we bonded.
Probably one of the more difficult things as a director is you're probably one of your most vulnerable spots is when you write this movie and you direct it and you cut it, and then you have to turn it over to somebody and it's something you don't know how to do. And you look at him and you say, please make this better. Can you make this great? Can you do what all movies we want to have happen is something that you'll never forget? we're very vulnerable as directors when you turn it over to the composer. And John, again, his ego is buried in there very deeply, without a doubt. He couldn't have achieved the things he has without it. But he laid it down at the expense, again, of the movie. I said, you might have an idea about a Western, but let this Western inform you. And he did. And I just felt very lucky that to be able to, it's probably my most favorite part, is to sit back and go, shit, he has to work. So we took it to Scotland, 92-piece orchestra, and we came back with our score. And John Debney, I am very indebted to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, something I really appreciated today watching the movie in this Dolby Atmos theater was the way the music works in conjunction with the sound design. I mean, they really are just beautifully integrated in this movie.